Hello, my friends. This is Obi-Wan MuGaBa Abawega, or Obi-Wan, and speaking to you today about the subject persevering with patience. When I offer a blessing to people, and they tell me what they intend to be their heart's desire, what would be their wish, and I ask them, "Is that your heart's manifest intent?" And they say yes, and then I say, then you have but one thing to do: persevere with patience. You said it, so be it. It is so. Amen. Bump. Congratulations. Okay? That's how a blessing goes, the way I like to do it. I mean, you can do it a million different ways, so pick one. That's my style. Okay? But when I say there's one thing you must do: persevere with patience, what do I really mean by those two words, persevering with patience? And how is persevering with patience differing from any other kind of persevering? Okay? Well, here's the answer to that question. When you persevere with patience, it means you've set a heading to reach your goal. Like if you were a navigator on a ship and you knew the compass and you knew which heading, north, northeast, and that's your heading to get to where you need to be to the next point where you're going to make another change of course, okay? But you know the heading, and you're going to stay on that heading, all right? Well, that's the way it is to persevere, and you're persevering with patience because you're just staying on that heading. Now, if you're persevering, but you're obsessed with it, you're not patient, but you're obsessed with it, then you could be persevering and then constantly fixated on what it's going to be like when you get to your destination, to your goal. But we're not talking about that. Okay, I'm just waving because there's a fellow flying overhead right there at just a few hundred feet that flying his parachute with that engine on his back. It's a glorious little trick he does. Oh, I love it. And he just turning off his engine. He's gonna land with no power. Okay. Anyway, so persevering with patience. You're heading for that goal. If it's with patience, you're just focused on the heading. But if you're like obsessed with the goal, then you can burn yourself out. You're persevering, but you're not patient about it. You're just constantly focused on, gotta get it, gotta get it, gotta get it. I gotta do that thing. If I'm not doing that thing right now, I'm not happy. I want to do that thing. I want that thing to happen, and you're obsessing about it. That's not with patience, and that won't help you reach your goal. It will help you kind of to wear yourself out until you quit, and you don't want to do that. So that would be persevering with obsession, and you don't want to do that. You want to persevere with patience. So that's the trick. When you persevere with patience, you're just focused on your heading that you know is what will take you to your goal. And you're not really thinking of your goal anymore. It's just the heading, the heading, the heading. And you're focused on that heading, and you're staying right on that heading, and a wave hits you, and you correct course, or whatever it is, okay? Metaphysically, with metaphors, I mean, you've got to stay on your heading. And that's persevering with patience. And what happens when you do that? Then suddenly, boom, there's your goal. It just suddenly appears like I didn't even know we were that close. Wow, we've reached our goal. And then, oh yeah, I wish that this would happen. And I was told that it would, and I forgot that it would, and it's happened. What do you know? Isn't that strange? No, that's the way it works. You reach for, you're heading for that heading, and then suddenly whatever you wished for will come true. And then you'll have forgotten that you even wished for it at first, and then you'll finally remember. And then you can start building on that and realize that that was just a typical occurrence of everything that you can do, that every intent that you make with your heart can be accomplished, and you just simply must persevere with patience, because we don't live in the instant gratification world of the Hollywood. We're part of nature. We're natural people, and nothing happens instantly in nature. It takes a little time. It takes some time for a flower to open up. It takes some time for the bee to pollinate the flower. It takes some time for some roots to go down, and it takes some time for some sunshine to saturate and for the thing to grow, and all of this kind of thing. Everything takes some time. And in the electronic world of Hollywood entertainment, that is so much part of our culture today, worldwide, worldwide. In the extent of that culture, people get used to instant gratification. You have electronic toys and phones and games, and it's all the time just push a button, boom, push a button, boom. And people get used to that idea of push a button, boom. And that ain't the way it works in the real world. The real world is you have to plant it, you have to water it, you have to irrigate it, you have to radiate it with the sun, and then watch it grow day by day, and it takes shape. And so it is with all these valuable truths that we're sharing. There's no like a boom, everything's all at once. Day by day, we're growing and growing and nurturing this understanding. That's what I hope to do in my regular video clips here on YouTube. So spread the word, Obi-Wan MuGaBa, on YouTube, and we're happy to share the truth. I think in the very next episode that we're going to put up will be the table of contents of future information. I think that's what I'll call it. And the reason for that is I want you to know all the subjects that we're going to talk about. And each little clip will be about one particular subject, and we'll just separate it into subjects. And so there you go. Thanks for your time. I hope it was clear about what it means to persevere with patience. Blessings be upon you. Namaste.